Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast about the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Sharla.
And I'm Daniel.
What have you been up to, Daniel?
Well, this weekend we had our Nashville Totem event. Big thanks to everybody that came out, especially Butler. Butler Touchton is a sweet guy that all of you should get to know. He is the guy that is Bonnaroo backwards on Twitter.
Oh my goodness, he is so amazing. Such an incredible, friendly person. And I said it in a live stream the other day, but I wish Butler could be my dad. Like, no, my dad is amazing. Don't get me wrong. But you know what I mean by that. Like, he is just such a cool and incredible person. He has brought all four of his children to Bonnaroo. And when I say children, I think he said they started coming when they were around 13, 14 and came on up to, I think he's got a 39-year-old now and a 21-year-old, and they range in that age bracket and, you know, have came in the years along the way. And just such a cool person. You know, he's a high school chemistry teacher right now, and just such a cool guy.
Yeah, he sent us a big plate of biscuits the year before last.
Yeah, he did. He makes biscuits. That's his thing.
I've heard he's done that for a number of people. He's a biscuit bandit.
He's got a YouTube where he cooks.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I had forgotten, but yes, that is a thing that exists.
Yes, it's so cool. But he makes biscuits, and just such a kind and wonderful person. He does a question of the day on Twitter every day. And when he's at Bonnaroo, he does a question of the day. He'll write it out on a whiteboard. And
oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Yes, how cool is that?
That's amazing.
But thanks to everyone who came. Thanks especially so much to Sam, who set it up for us. I mean, such a friendly guy. Like, thank you so much, Sam. That was so great.
I was sitting there setting up over at Wedge Pizza and Pub. Shout out to them. They were great hosts.
Yeah, they were cool.
And I looked over, and here comes Sam rolling up on his really cool Indian motorcycle like a badass. Apparently, he lives in the neighborhood, and it was a pretty day, so he went biking, you know.
That was a cool venue, too. Wedge Pizza and Pub.
Yeah, that was the first time I had been there.
Back. Yeah, like they had like this really cool outdoor patio, and it had like couches on it, and they had indoors. They had like multiple pool tables, and like they had this whole dart area, and just it looked like a really cool place. Like I would go back there, just to hang out. Like it was cool, and they had really good service. And Sam brought a couple people that we did not know that had been going to Bonnaroo for a while, Terry and Zach. So we got to meet them. They were cool. And Zach has a converted camper van that he's been taking to Bonnaroo.
Yeah, he does some utility work, but he has fixed that up where he can stay in there too.
Yeah, he does carpentry. So he, I think he said he does carpentry out of his van or something, and that was really cool. And JB was there.
When is JB not there?
Drove over from Savannah. So, I mean, just had a really good time. Some really, really good friends.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I have mentioned this to a lot of people privately, but I don't care saying this publicly. We're not necessarily that worried about fundraising for Totem right now because we're going to have what we need for our beta year in 24. What we really need is for you to help us get the word out. We just want people to know that it exists. There's going to be another wave of publicity after the Bonnaroo lineup is released, and you'll see that soon. But for now, we just want you to tell people that we're doing this, that we are starting the mentorship program and the scholarship program, and eventually in a couple of years, the international exchange program. But you already heard about that. We did whole episodes on that.
So coming up on this podcast, we have a very, very, very special guest. And let me tell you before I introduce our guest, we're going to be doing some episodes coming up highlighting some of our board members. And this was actually the idea of this board member, our very first guest, to highlight some of our board members. And I was like, that's an amazing idea. Okay, I guess you're going to be the first one.
They played themselves.
But this guest that we have is just honestly one of my favorite Bonnaroovians, truly. I mean, I didn't meet this person until last year, but when I met them, I was like, okay, they're amazing. Like, I am just awe-inspired by this person. Like, just truly amazing individual. Just wonderful. They are from Utah. They're from Salt Lake. It was so funny last year. They came in with a subgroup. They were in our group that we had in group camping. They came in with a little subgroup, and everyone was wearing these little shirts that said Slut Crew. Salt Lake City, Utah. You never heard that? Our Salt Lake, Utah.
I've heard it. It's just still funny. I'm inherently 12 years old and laugh at things like that.
No, that's the name of the city. That's the name of the city. I should say that.
Salt Lake,
I should
Utah.
paraphrase that. Yeah, Salt Lake, Utah. SLUT. SL comma UT.
Yes,
I
yes.
should say that. Anyways, so you may know this person as Sammee.
Yeah, so without any further ado, why don't we just jump right into it?
Okay. Okay, everyone, we've got Sammee joining us from Utah. Welcome,
Utah.
I think you're out in Salt Lake. Is that correct?
Yes, Salt Lake City.
Oh my goodness. Is it cold out there right now?
So it's actually doing this like fake, I don't want to call it fake fall. It's like real fall in the sense that it hasn't really snowed yet. So it's a tease because I'm waiting for it to dump soon and be frigid. But today it was like 65.
Oh, that's not bad. That's roughly what it was here today.
Yeah, it's been about bad around here. Yeah, it hasn't been bad.
False fall.
Yeah, exactly.
False fall. Thank you. Yes. I mean, I have all my sweaters out and I'm already wearing all of my hoodies and rocking my, corduroy overalls, but it's still nice.
Oh gosh.
I had a great time in your little neighborhood over there. What was the name of that bar that me and you and Kevin and Amber went to? I can't remember.
Poplar Pub. That's one of my
Yes.
jams. I love Poplar Pub. That's like one of the places I take any visitors because it has great food. It has so many more options when it comes to like beer and stuff. It's one of the few places that has a lot of things on tap and available. But it's just a cool vibe. It's a great place.
I loved it. You could tell that was a locals kind of place.
Oh my gosh. I've only been out there once, and I'll have to come back for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, Sharla, we have to go all sorts of places.
Oh my gosh.
And make Skylar jealous because she has a list of places she wants to come back to Salt Lake for.
Now, Sammee, you were on the podcast like I guess about a year ago or so. But to introduce yourself again, like tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Sammee. Pronouns are she, they, she. And I am a artist in Salt Lake City. That's what I've started calling myself because I'm too multifaceted to pretend that I'm not. And so right now I do mostly directing. I'm doing a little bit more movement. I'm also a drag artist and I love going to Bonnaroo. It's the only thing I think of for the entire year. Everyone at my work is already annoyed at me for starting to talk about it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I'm the same way about Bonnaroo, like year round. I mean, that's it. Do you do any other festivals besides Bonnaroo, or is that the only one?
That's my main one. I've gone to a couple during what we called Nautaroo when Bonnaroo got canceled.
Yeah.
I decided my music festival need was not fulfilled, so I went to Shaking Knees that year, which was really fun. I love Shaking Knees. And then there's also actually it got really big last year and it was a lot of fun. There's a local music festival called Pilby Block Party.
Oh.
And they had the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, the Strokes, and it's a jam band and I'm going to get in so much trouble for not remembering. Pavement. Yes, I remembered.
Okay.
They were the
Yeahs and the Strokes. I was like, what year is this?
I know, right? And Pavement, like it was a good they also had like Grammy Wolf, which was so good, and Run the Jewels. It was a solid music festival, and this year is going to be the 5th one of it, and so it's going to be big.
Oh yeah.
So that one I either work or I go. So last year I worked VIP for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I get roped into volunteering for things because I know that I will run them better. And so sometimes that's one of those.
How many Bonnaroos have you been to?
Wait, how much? Say that again.
How many Bonnaroos have you been to?
Oh, I think this is my 6th year.
Okay. So I knew
Yeah.
you had been to several, but I didn't know exactly how many.
That definitely makes you a veteran at this point.
Yeah,
I
exactly. Yeah.
know I'm officially a veteran. It's so funny because now I'm like, oh, yep. I mean, this is mostly my personality and the fact that I have way too much like Bonnaroo merch just laying around now.
Oh yeah.
One
Um,
of us. One of
one like I bought the blanket this year, favorite. Honestly, might buy the blanket every year because it's a nice one, and I
Oh
love
yes.
blankets.
We have two on our couch right now.
We have one on either big armrest on the couch. And it comes because those nice ones that are about $70 at the merch store, like they double as like a little blanket that you can roll out
Yeah.
when you go to a show.
Yeah,
That's on a bed
that's
if it's a little cold.
exactly. And I didn't bring a blanket this year, so it came in clutch because I was like, I need a blanket just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I this will be my 6th year. I'm excited, and I just love the vibe of Bonnaroo. It's the best.
Oh my God. That's so amazing. So what's been like your favorite show that you've ever seen at Bonnaroo?
Oh, I would have to say it, and it still is, would be D'Angelo.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
that show just blew me away. And he was even late, like 2 or 3 hours, and it was 100% worth it. Like it was such a stellar, just so clean and just perfect. Can't go wrong with D'Angelo.
Wait, I can't remember. Why was he late?
I can't remember either. I don't know. I don't know if I ever found out. We just waited for hours in the pit,
I
but it
cannot.
was 100% worth it.
He got distracted playing cornhole in the no.
I cannot
Sounds
remember.
about right.
Gosh, I did not see that show. I missed that. Oh, gosh, I should have went.
I
Oh,
remember that. There was some big conflict that night.
Yeah, there was something. I remember. I remember.
yeah, because it was Super Jam the same time.
Yeah, that's probably what it was then.
Yeah, which we were going to leave D'Angelo to go to the Super Jam, like you do in Bonnaroo. You got to priorities, but it was too good that we didn't leave.
Oh my
We
God.
even had a friend that was strictly there for, I think it was the year that Slayer was there. And
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
he was strictly there just to see Slayer and didn't even know D'Angelo, was like, I'll listen to a couple and see how I feel. And he stayed the whole time. He was like, this is amazing.
Amazing. So, who are you looking forward, or who do you think will be on the lineup for this year?
Oh,
You looked
I
at the
want
winners, or
my guilty pleasure is Miley Cyrus. I
oh,
will say
Yes.
that. That
I
is the
want her
first
to.
time in the entire world that I have been that I've shared that secret. I think Skylar is the only one, and a couple other people and my sister are the only ones that know that because we secretly talk about Miley Cyrus. But I would love to see Miley Cyrus. I think she's amazing, and I feel like she fits the Bonnaroo Festival vibe 100%. Um, Also, I mean, always Dolly Parton. Like, come on. But I really, really want the Blackaroo that we were going to have in 2020. So I want like Brittany Howard
oh yeah.
and Janelle Monáe and Don Batiste and Leon Bridges. Like I want that group of people to come back.
I
That'd
think
be
there's a
amazing.
really good chance we'll get Brittany Howard for sure.
Yeah, I think
Oh, for sure.
touring again. I think she
Yeah.
has a new album out. I can't remember.
She's releasing a new album soon.
Yeah.
I think John Baptiste, didn't he come out with a new album recently? Or
I
I don't
mean, the
know.
big Grammy, and I
oh
think he has some new music.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
would
so.
love to
Oh,
have him. That man is like
He
a
is
physical
yeah,
manifestation
he's
of radiating
amazing.
positivity.
oh my God, he is so lovely to watch live because it's like watching oh, what was that band that uh did the Pride Festival
Oh wow.
this year? I can't remember, but they were a whole ass vibe and it was like taking you to church, and that's what John Batiste does, is he takes you to church.
Hmm.
Like it is, he would be a perfect Sunday. You get Batiste Church. I would love it.
You know, Sammy, along with those others that you mentioned, I would really love to have Black Pumas. I want to see them live.
Yeah.
Oh, Black Pumas. That's one of the few like bands that I heard one song and I was like, oh, I'm hooked for
Hmm.
life. They're so I would love to see them live.
Yes, that'd be amazing. I want to see Run the Jewels also.
Oh,
That'd be
they're
like the
so
first
good
time.
live.
Yes, that only
It's always a party.
that only be the second time.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't. Let's talk later. I think
Yeah.
we've seen it more than that. We'll take that offline.
Yes. Oh my God. But yes, I think we'll get Brittany Howard for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I saw them when Alabama Shakes was at Bonnaroo.
Yes, we were there. Yeah, we were in the pit.
So
Yeah, Sammee, I don't know if I've told you this before, but we live like literally just a few miles from where the Alabama Shakes used to like live and rehearse and everything. So it doesn't happen anymore. But back in the day, Sharla and I would go get groceries and we would just randomly see some of them in there getting stuff.
that is amazing.
I saw one of them buying some steaks once.
Yeah, the bass player. Yeah.
All we have here is Post Malone and Katherine Heigl.
Not Posty.
Not Post. Actually, Posty is hilarious as a celebrity because yeah, he lives here. He has a giant mansion up in the mountains, but like he'll come and shop at Winco and just be like roaming around, and people are always like, "Oh my God!" And he's just like, "Yeah, what's up?" Like, you're such a weirdo, but I love it. You know,
Post Malone has kind of turned into like one of those Bill Murray types. Like everybody seems to have a story, and it's like,
100%.
yeah, we were at a party. Posty just showed up and started serving drinks and playing beer pong, and everybody's like, yeah, that checks out.
Yep. Yeah, that is all of Salt Lake City now because you'll just randomly and Ty Burrell from Modern Family. I know the celebrities that here in Salt Lake are the most random celebrities. But Ty Burrell actually owns a couple bars here. And the other day when I was working as a barista, he just walked into the food hall that I was working. And for a second I was like, I looked at him and I was like, oh, that's just a normal white guy from probably Park City. And then I was like, why do I know that normal white guy from Park City? And I like looked closer and I was like, oh,
of course,
you're tight.
Also a barista. What do you not do? Like, is there is there a career?
Everything.
I'm always amazed by you.
I have a lot of different facets about me, and yeah, I was actually a barista for like 15 years.
Oh wow.
And also was a coffee roaster for a hot second.
That's
so
cool.
oh yeah, I loved roasting coffee.
So talking about Bonnaroo, what else do you like to do there, like besides going to the shows?
So I've been a big fan. I need to one day actually show up on time. I am the worst queer. That's not true. I am on time when it comes to being Black and queer. But I love seeing the House of Yes show. Their drag show is always like stellar. I always see like bits and pieces because I go late and the crowd is giant. But what I've seen has been amazing. So I always love going to that, as well as I did the Pride March this year, and that was so much fun. I had a blast doing that. And then most of it is honestly eating food.
What was your favorite thing you ate this past year?
Oh, that's a good question. I always love the chicken mac. Oof.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the chicken mac. And then I always have to have spicy pie at least a couple times. Where was I can't remember. One of the food trucks like blew my mind to the point that now I can't even remember what it was.
Did you ever get anything from Hattie B's? That was my favorite this year.
No, what did they have?
It's a Nashville chicken place, and I swear that was the best chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life. I had to sit there and like let that sink in. That was like a spiritual experience from a chicken sandwich.
That sounds incredible. Yes. If they're there next year, we got to go get some chicken sandwiches. I love a good chicken sandwich. Yes.
I didn't see them.
Oh, you know what was the best, and it always is those island noodles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We got that too.
Especially at like 2 a.m. and you need to eat something because you still have to go run around. They suffice so well.
Yes.
So good.
So a lot of people, when Daniel and I were talking about board members for Totem and we were trying to come up with who should be on the board, multiple people were like, Sammee.
It was a
Sammee gets to be on the
no-brainer.
board. It's kind of like a no-brainer when we asked you. So, like, what are some things that you've kind of done in the past that kind of led you to accept being a board member or to become a board member of Totem, I guess?
I mean, my background always ends up being based off of art and music and education. And so when you all were talking about Totem at the very beginning and what you wanted to do with it, it just spoke in all of the places that I love to be a part of. I love music. I love artists, and just like performing arts in general. But I also love having a chance to give opportunities to people, but also show the community that thrives and can be there as support and family on them, like on their own. And so for me, Totem just feels like a perfect balance of like me as a weirdo that goes to a music festival across the country every year, and also like the artist that I am and the things that I do here too, because I do a lot of mentorships. I'm a part of one of the universities to help mentor the college students. And so it kind of brings both of those together. And I like it.
On the mentor side of things, so I'm going to put all of our board members on the spot with this question. You get to go
Oh,
first.
goodness.
This was your idea, so you volunteered yourself.
It was.
Let's take a look into the future. Like, we're going to match you with somebody that you'll be, big brother, big sister for. What would be some of your top advice for somebody coming to their first Bonnaroo? Like, what would be your big do's and don'ts?
My first do, it doesn't matter, but comfortable shoes over fashion shoes any day. I am over 30 now and I've accepted my fate that I won't wear cute shoes. I'll wear cute shoes that are comfortable. That's the compromise I've accepted in my life. But comfortable shoes, 100%. Because I think always being hydrated and like taking care of your body. But the biggest thing I would always say is listen, listen to your body. If your body is saying you're tired, then you need to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
If your body says, I didn't like that food, you need to take care of yourself because it's just going to make it worse if you don't take care of yourself. And then you lose out on more if that happens. That would be my biggest do. My biggest don't is don't be hard on yourself if you have to say no to something.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I've had some shows that I've missed that I was like, I'm so sad. But then it's not worth it to bring yourself down for missing something when there is so many things you're going to have a chance to achieve and to accomplish. And just the fact that you got there is an accomplishment in itself. Whether you're able to see every show or no shows at all, you're still doing something that not very many people are able to or are afraid to. Like, I know some people are like, you can't at a music festival for 5 days. I'm like, yeah, it's great. And they're like, no, thank you. I'm good. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. There's also hotels. I always try to recruit everyone to go to Bonnaroo no matter what. I will find something you will like about Bonnaroo. But yeah,
You had
no,
a
I
very
think
good point in there about like not holding yourself to necessarily like a strict schedule. I think so many of us get caught up in trying to plan out every day, especially once the performance schedule comes out saying like, oh, I'm going to go to this, I'm going to go to this. But you're not accounting for the various misadventures that you're going to run into. So you just have to put that schedule out the window sometimes.
Yeah, and also you're not accounting for what your body's going to say that day. Mm-hmm. And I know for someone that I have terrible back and knees, I've had chronic pain all my life. There's moments where I have to remind myself, like, you're not going to be able to accomplish this if anything goes wrong, if anything whatsoever. And it could even be, and I hate to say it, tummy ache can ruin your day. Like, honestly, that can make. I had this Saturday, I had the worst stomach, like the worst. And you know when you have that sour stomach and you're like, great, this is all I'm doing today. And I'm proud of myself. I accomplished seeing most of the shows that I wanted to, and I did bow out at one point, and like I missed my morning jacket, and I was so sad about it.
Oh,
But I was like, you know what? I'd rather miss my morning jacket and go back to camp and lay down and kind of like make my body rest so that on Sunday I can go hard. And that's exactly what happened. I slept well. I woke up on Sunday and I accomplished so much on Sunday.
yeah, that is a very good point. I can speak from
Mm-hmm.
experience. Like my stomach tears me up sometimes if I eat something I shouldn't have. And
Yep.
those of you that fear that this might be a thing for you, I'm just saying, put some Pepto and some Tums in your first aid kit that you bring with you. It'll be a
Yes,
lifesaver.
I just
Chewable Tums. Have you ever had the Skittles Tums?
no,
Yes, I
I
have.
haven't.
Oh, Sharla, I will always have them. So if you need them, I always have
Oh,
a buttload because they're my favorite. Because then I feel like a child, but then my stomach is like, we can be an adult again. So yeah, that's definitely, and I think that's the biggest thing is realizing that you're putting your body and into a different kind of, it's kind of a marathon. Like that's what people say. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But
exactly.
like you're not in your house going to bed the same time that you do all the time. And like you're doing that for 5 days straight, which means that your body's like, what are we doing? And usually when you're on a cruise or on vacation or something like that, you have a little bit more downtime in the sense that you at least have like a normal sleep for the most part. But at Bonnaroo, that could come and go at any time.
Yeah. And
And
look,
so, yeah. And
not to
so
go into
losing,
details, but for anybody that hasn't been in a long time or hasn't been at all, it's not just porta potties. There's some nice bathrooms
Oh
too.
yeah.
oh,
I'll give
there's
you
nice
that.
bathrooms. Well, and that's the also another thing that I would say. Always go to the bathroom before you head to Centeroo, and always go to the bathroom before you leave Centeroo.
Yep.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's a good rule of
That's a
thumb.
very good. Yeah.
That's actually something I learned living in New York City because the amount of times you're stuck on that subway and you're like, oh no,
Like this is happening.
this is happening and I have to find a place.
Look, the hack that I've heard from New Yorkers is that no hotel is really checking to see if you really stay there. So just pop into one if you got to go, man.
Oh yeah, the lobbies have bathrooms all the time, and you if you walk like you have a purpose, they
Yeah.
usually don't stop you. And Barnes and Nobles.
Oh,
Oh, that's a
Barnes
good.
and Nobles always have bathrooms, and they're always usually clean and open.
yeah.
I love how we have good practical life tips on this.
I know. I mean, if it's with me, I always have practical life. And this is from lived experience, y'all. Lived experience. You don't have to experience it because I did.
Well, Sammee, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Also, thank you for showing me
Yes.
around
Thank
Salt
you.
Lake about a month or so ago. I had a great time with you, and I can't wait to get so much done with you with Totem. Thank you so much for being part of our board and for volunteering to go first. I mean, yeah, I was looking at you. This was your idea to highlight all of our members. So I'm like, oh yeah, so you going first, right? That's the deal here.
It didn't help that like Chloe and Skylar hyped me up. And so I was like, I mean, now that I have like a fan base that's like, sue me, I'm like, okay, I can do it.
Those
I
are
can handle it. But thank
fantastic.
you for letting me be a part of this and joining having a nice little evening chat with y'all.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Sammee. We
Yes,
love you to
thank you.
death. We'll see you in June, if not before then. All right. Thank you, Sammee. Again, I've got to really thank them for showing me around Salt Lake, or SLUT, as you put it earlier. We had a great time at that bar that they mentioned. And really, they were just a fantastic host. We just hung out and took a walk back to the car, and they rubbed me back to the hotel that night. I had a great time hanging out with them.
That's cool. I need to get back.
It's a pretty fun town. Like, there's a lot of beautiful scenery
Well, just
around.
it's gorgeous. Utah is like so underrated as a state. Like it is beautiful out there.
I like the area around Salt Lake, but really southern Utah was where I really thought it was. Like, that was a beautiful drive when we came back from Burning Man last year. It was amazing.
It's all gorgeous. But we need to thank our Patreons.
We do. So these are the people that are really helping Totem out these days. So they are I just tried to make up a new word there. I'm not even going to edit this. They're supporting us in terms of all the financial stuff that we got to take care of. We had like some fees and getting the nonprofit set up, but in large part, a lot of this is going to help out people who are going to win our scholarships next year. And we've talked about that before. We'll talk about it again. But for now, Sharla's going to tell you the names.
Okay. JB, Sam, Austin, Madeline, James, Chelsea, aka Hygiene Queen, Ryan, Chris, Skylar, Dan, Ernst, Bill, Harris, Keith, Casey, Chloe, Dave, Amanda, Aaron, Nick, Maddie, McFerg, Kent, Randy, Greg, Eric and Ben, Evan, Jay, Chloe, and Sean.
Yeah, thank you guys. You can find that at patreon.com/Rubus for now. It's probably going to change to Totem later, but that's where you can get it for now. And 100% goes to the Totem Foundation. And if you are donating from October on, we will be able to supply you a receipt at the end of the year so you can claim it on your taxes. And by the way, I would be a bad nonprofit founder if I didn't mention this. If you know of anybody that's looking to really write a big check at the end of the year so they can write off things on their taxes.
You should say it's tax deductible.
Tax deductible, yes. I'm not an accountant.
Ask your own accountant.
Ask your accountant, not me. I'm not an accountant. I'm not good at math. Math is hard. But anyways, if you are looking for somebody that is looking for a good cause, I believe we will have a PayPal button up here in the next couple of weeks,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. We're working to get a PayPal button so you can donate directly via PayPal.
Yeah, we're hoping to have that up by Thanksgiving because, you have Giving Tuesday. So, again, fundraising is not a top priority for us, but hey, we're a nonprofit. We'll take it.
Exactly.
If you got somebody that's got money burning a hole in their pocket, we'll take it.
And extra expenses that we have in 2024 can go to provide travel expenses for our scholarship winners, camping supplies for our scholarship winners, and potentially even more scholarships.
Yeah.
I mean, just depending on how much that we do fundraise, essentially.
We'll get to that later.
Yes.
But for now, again, it is at patreon.com/Rubus for now. It'll probably change a little bit later. But for now, again, it's patreon.com/Rubus. And if you haven't noticed, Charlotte's taking the lead on this episode. I'm throwing it back to her. What you got for us?
Okay, well, I was just going to say the best thing that everyone can do right now for us is to share the mentorship and the scholarship applications. I do expect that we'll have more scholarship applicants as Bonnaroo releases the ticket sales, as Bonnaroo releases the lineups. But still, if you can just share that scholarship application, if you know of an individual who, for lack of a better word, lives in an underprivileged area or is in a financial need to receive a ticket to Bonnaroo, essentially, share that scholarship application with them. Or if you can just post it on your social media, that would be the absolute best thing that you can do right now, to just share that application out there. And we'll post it up on our social media. We'll post it on the Totem social media, and you can just grab it from there and just share that amongst all of your friends, and just share it with anyone, who may need, a ticket to Bonnaroo. And they can go in and fill it out. It's a pretty straightforward application.
It's like about 10 minutes to apply.
It'll take about 10 minutes. The only lengthy part of it, at the end, there is a little, very short essay type question that they have to fill out and complete. But it is a pretty straightforward, like I said, application. And they can just fill that out. And we would love to have them apply.
Yeah, and just in the sake of full transparency, that essay is what's going to probably weigh most in their application, because we want the applicant to provide something to the community. This is not just a free ride. We want them to contribute to the community with some kind of event, or maybe they want a job shadow. Maybe they're thinking of something that we haven't even considered. That's part of the point of this.
And again, for full transparency, there is a question on there. Do you need assistance with travel? Do you need assistance with camping supplies, etc.? So there are questions on there regarding those things. And we'll work with the applicants as we narrow it down with our board.
Yeah, and we'll do that early next year. More to come on that. We'll give you more details as we highlight some more of our board members in the upcoming weeks. I guess from now until Christmas and New Year's, really.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm so looking forward to that.
Ooh, who should we get on next?
I have some ideas. I'm like tinkering in my mind.
We have a good crowd of great people, many of which you've heard on the podcast before, some that you haven't.
We have
But
like 15, 16 board members.
yeah.
One was on a few weeks ago.
yeah, we're going to try to do this once a week, so we can drop the thing at the beginning of the episode saying that sometimes weekly, because we have a lot of board members to highlight.
If you have a request of someone that you want to hear from, let us know.
Yeah. One of our board members is Barry from the What Podcast, so we'll have to get him on.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll save him for when we're in the depths of rumor season. He might have some
that'd
tea
be good.
to share with us.
That'd be a good time to bring him on.
All right. Anything else you want to share about Totem?
Is there anything else you want to share about Totem, Dan?
No, I'm letting you take the lead on this. What else you got?
No, I think we have covered it for this week, but did you have anything else, Daniel?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you what kind of rumors you've been hearing, if any.
Oh, are we going to talk about rumor season?
I mean, I guess we can for a minute before we get out of here.
Okay, well, on Reddit, let's see what people have been saying. I've been seeing a lot of, as Sammee brought up, Brittany Howard. I've seen that a lot. I've seen that name tossed around.
That's
a
a
lot.
very good call. I would be surprised if we didn't get Brittany Howard.
Yeah.
Because I saw that she's got some dates coming out, and I don't think that there was anything conflicting, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. That's a great call. We were supposed to have her solo show at one of those canceled years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. People still talk about those Alabama Shakes shows.
Yeah.
That one that we saw, I think it was in 16, maybe it was 15. It was 15. That was one of the best sunset sets I've ever seen at the What stage. That was just fantastic in every way.
So, Daniel, who do you want to see next year?
All right, well, I guess I will stay on brand. I actually do want Tame Impala next year, but I don't necessarily want the same show that they've been playing for the past 2 or 3 years. So I'm going to share the same thoughts that Andrew and I have been collectively having. And by the way, I mention him all the time. So Andrew is our good buddy from Atlanta. He's a Georgia Tech alum. He helped out tremendously with our camp last year. And he is probably a more insane person about Tame Impala and these Australian psych bands than I am. So that's saying something. But him and I have been discussing this and, sharing gossip and everything. Yeah, that's a pun. Anyway, about how we want it to be either a Tame Impala sound system set or a 10th anniversary, full show of Currents. I kind of feel like it's not in the cards for us to get Tame next year, but I've been hearing a thing or two this week that makes me a little bit more optimistic. I'm not counting on it, but I'm feeling like it's more possible than it was when I was thinking about it like a month or so ago.
So I pulled up the 2024 Bonnaroo Rumors and Confirmation thread on Reddit, and this person has been posting this for a few years now, as far as I know. And I'm just going to read you some names.
They do a fantastic
They
job
do
with
an
this, especially at
excellent
this time of
job
the year.
on this, and it is everyone contributes to this thread on here, and they narrow it down by tour dates, etc., and so forth. And speculative or likely, bolded equals more likely. So I'll just read you off some of the bolded names on here: Blink 182, Grace Potter, Pretty Lights, Hoser. How do you say that?
Hosier.
Hosier?
I made that up. I'm not entirely sure now that you
Hosier?
asked.
Hosier, I guess.
Sure, why not?
I always mispronounce stuff, and then people will make fun of me.
Hosier.
Okay, Kane Brown, Pierce the Veil, the Flaming Lips.
Please, yes, please.
If we had Flaming Lips, I would be beside myself, y'all. So those are the ones that are the most.
That's just a handful.
Yeah,
You should check that
the
thread.
most known right now. So go check out that Reddit thread if you have not already, because that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information.
Can I post a theory about what I think we might see on the lineup
Please
this year?
do.
So I think we have all collectively heard that it might be a bit of a lull year in terms of booking for festivals. A lot of festivals have gone by the wayside because they just didn't have the cash to book people. I think a lot of big acts aren't necessarily touring this coming year. Like, pickings are slim. So I kind of feel like potentially Bonnaroo might be doing a bit of a greatest hits kind of thing this coming year. This is just my theory.
Yeah.
I have nothing to base this on. But I think it would be entirely possible to see bands like The Flaming Lips, Moon Taxi, like other bands that you tend to see every few years at Bonnaroo. I think they get a lot of those big recognizable names that they can get, that they have a good relationship with, to make for a more recognizable lineup
So that's
poster.
your theory?
Yeah, just totally a theory. I've got really nothing to base that on. I'm just kind of guessing on that one.
Daniel, I said something joking, and Daniel said it was too much of a joke, so he cut it out.
Yeah, I did. Transparency is key here. She really went through the throat.
No, I did not.
She did. She did. We're not going to repeat what she said, but it was awful.
We had to do an edit.
Yeah, I'm offended. I'm still offended.
We're
I'm not
full
going to tell you what it was.
transparency on the podcast. No, it was not that.
Well, let's hear your hopes and theories. What do you want to
My
see?
hopes and dreams.
Yeah, what do you want to see besides the flaming lips?
Oh, Bob Seger. But he doesn't play. He doesn't tour anymore. He's done.
That would be amazing. What else? Anything else at all?
Run the Jewels, like I told Sammee.
We are due to have them back.
Oh,
I would enjoy
RTJ,
that.
that'd be. Oh, yeah.
I heard from people that went to their run of Atlanta shows that was just an absolute barn burner. Run the Jewels.
Oh, seeing them in Atlanta, could you imagine? Be rolling on the floor.
Rolling on the floor. But yeah, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I have kind of had my ear to the ground with rumor season for the better part of a decade now. And this is probably the 1 year where it feels like we really have no idea whatsoever. I think there's a couple of names that we can absolutely count on, like Pretty Lights, as we've discussed, seems like a no-brainer. But other than that, maybe Hosier, because it makes a lot of sense. Brittany Howard makes a lot of sense, as we've been talking about tonight. But other than those couple of names, nobody has any idea. I really don't feel like anybody has any firm grasp on who the three headliners might be at this point.
Jason Isbell is listed on the speculative list, but for some reason he's got a couple of stars next to his name, so I don't know what that means. But
He is a star.
I would love to see Jason Isbell, especially with his new album that just got nominated for like 3 Grammys or something.
Oh, yeah. He's also an actor in a Scorsese movie now, too.
Yeah.
The Killers of the Flower Moon.
Cold War Kids is listed on here. I would love to see them. I've seen them a couple of times. But there's a lot of other people that are listed on here. They're just not in bold. For some reason, this is weird, but, well, not weird. But George Strait is listed on here. So.
I'd be okay with that. But seriously,
Group Love is on here.
Go check this list because they do a really great job of kind of looking through all the tea leaves and actually verifying if something is, kind of reputable or not. So it's not going to 100% tell you what the lineup is going to be, but it'll at least give you like a vague idea of kind of what to expect.
MGMT is on here.
Okay, so MGMT, I love their music, but I've heard that their live shows are so hit or miss.
I've heard that.
Like, I would love to see them, but you just don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of like a Modest Mouse situation.
Shoot.
What?
It says Beach Bunny. The whole time I thought it said Bad Bunny.
If we were getting Bad Bunny, I feel like we would have heard something. Oh, wait. Can I take one last detour before we sign off? So, Bad Bunny was briefly a WWE wrestler when they had some show in his hometown in Puerto Rico. He had
the Intercontinental belt.
He won the belt?
I believe so, yeah. I think that's what it was.
Okay, so I forget who I was talking with about this, but I agreed that this was an amazing idea. Wrestling as a plaza thing. You go see a wrestling match at a plaza.
We went to a Smashing Pumpkins show and they had wrestling between.
It was awesome.
And it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Now, Billy Corgan owns ECW.
No, it's not ECW.
It's not ECW.
I forget which one it is, but it's not that one.
Oh, my bad. Well, he owns one of the wrestling.
One of the wrestling things. But yeah, that would be awesome. They do that at like Dragon Con. They have Dragon Con wrestling. We need Bonnaroo wrestling.
Remember last year when Sergeant Slaughter started just randomly following all the Bonnaroo folks?
Yeah, we never got to the bottom of that,
We
did
never figured it out. And we were like, is he coming to Bonnaroo? Like, oh, he owns NWA.
What does that even stand for?
National Wrestling Alliance.
Oh, okay.
The program.
I wasn't entirely sure. I know about NWO. I know that one.
Of course, everyone knows that one.
For life.
All right, get out there and radiate positivity.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.